Jo. Noch ist wahrscheinlich keiner online. Also jetzt wird es wahrscheinlich gleich eine Mittagspause geben im Gericht. Dann kommen die wahrscheinlich raus und werden noch was erzählen. Ja, ich bin mal gespannt. Es hat endlich aufgehört zu regnen. Da sind nur so ein paar einzelne Tropfen, die jetzt noch runterkommen. Und der Wind ist auch noch ein bisschen nervig. Ja, also Leute sind immer noch aktiv mit Rufen. Vorhin gab es noch ein Trommelkonzert. Also die Trommel lassen heute Morgen kommen, die waren gestern gar nicht da. Jetzt hat es auch wieder ganz gut gefüllt im Vergleich zum Morgen. Naja, gibt da Leute, die müssen morgens noch arbeiten. So, da ist Guy Dawson. Na, vielleicht gibt es gleich mittags noch ein paar Reden. Gab es gestern zumindest. Das ist doch klasse. kommen jetzt Leute aus dem Bericht raus. Und da sind auch einige Zuschauer gewesen, die gestern als Zuschauer im Bericht waren. Na, das heißt auf jeden Fall ist jetzt schon mal Mittagspause. Vielleicht gibt es ja gleich noch Programm auf der Bühne. Jo, Hanne, genau richtig erkannt. Es geht hier um Massage. Ich bin hier live vor Ort. Gestern war ich da im Gericht drin. Jetzt gerade Mittagspause. Vielleicht kommen die, also gestern Mittag sind die auch rausgekommen und haben noch eine kurze Rede gehalten oder ein kurzes Update gegeben. Vielleicht gibt es heute auch was. Ja, an den Fahnen könnt ihr sehen, es ist windig und kühl. Oh, und das ist anstrengend. Aber wenigstens hat es aufgehört zu regnen. Oh ja, gerne teilen. Ansonsten halt auch bei Telegram, Dauerwelle, Demo-Report. Da kommt auch noch alles rein. Da sind auch zwischendrin noch ein paar kurze Videos gewesen. was drin, gell?
Ja.
Willst du kurz was erzählen?
Ich bin gerade so platt.
Nur Ton.
Naja, also die Verteidigung kam so gut wie nicht zu Wort. Da war die Frau Claire Dobbin.
Okay,
Sie vertritt das US Government, die Anwältin, und sie hat versucht, in unterschiedlicher Art und Weise darzulegen, warum Assange kein Journalist ist, Vorsicht, eigentlich gar kein Journalist sei, und dass er den Whistleblowern geholfen hat, Illegales, also nach US-Recht Illegales zu bewerkstelligen, also dass er daran beteiligt war an dem Diebstahl dieser geheimen Information.
Okay.
Das haben sie versucht, ihm anzudrehen, und dass er nicht genügend seiner, wenn er überhaupt denn eine hätte, journalistischen Sorgfaltspflicht nachgekommen wäre, indem er unnötigerweise Klarnamen, zum Beispiel von den Whistleblowern, veröffentlichen ließ, und damit die nationale Sicherheit gefährdet hätte.
Okay.
Soweit ich glaube oder weiß,
Ich glaube, wir müssen hier gleich erstmal weggehen.
war er derjenige, der die Veröffentlichung überhaupt redaktionell bearbeitet hat. Also weil da gab es auch die Unterscheidung, glaube ich, von ihr zwischen den Outlets, wo es veröffentlicht wurde, und ihm.
Okay, dann müssen wir, glaube ich, noch ein bisschen weggehen. Aber wahrscheinlich gehen sie gleich zur Bühne. Wir werden da wahrscheinlich ein Statement abgeben. Dass die Leute nicht in Ruhe lassen, ey. Ja, dann gehe ich schon mal vor zur Bühne.
Hey, ach, der Paul ist auch da.
Die Daria, falls ihr sie kennt. Jo. Die Leute, die zu Julian Assange gehören, die probieren hier gerade irgendwie durchzukommen. Aber die werden von den ganzen Journalisten hier bedrängt. Also, oh Mann, was für ein Schwachsinn, ey. Lass die Leute doch einfach durchgehen, ey. Das ist unglaublich, ey. Was müssen die sich da so hindrängen, ey?
Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange!
Das ist wahrscheinlich der Anwalt oder...
Because you did what was right and shone a glaring truthful light. Now a prison ship lies waiting in the bay. Low lies from the Pentagon's steely eyes. They punish those who stand in their way. 'Cause you expose their dirty wars and how they murder for their cause. But we will always stand by Julian Assange. By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young man calling. about their international crimes. Now they'll send me to a dungeon in the USA. Low life from the Pentagon.
It's a fantastic crowd I can see from up here. Thank you so much for staying all the way through the morning. I can see the Croydon Trade Union Council banner there. Thanks very much for coming down. Special thanks to the Public and Commercial Services Union Samba Band. Fantastic to see you. Really lifted the morning. Thanks for coming down. They'll be leading the march later on this afternoon. Now, the first speaker I've got to introduce to you is Gabriel Shipton. That's Julian Assange's brother. He's been following this case. He's been leading the campaigning internationally and especially in Australia. Gabriel, tell us what's been going on this morning.
Mr. Bruder von Julian Assange.
Hey everyone, thanks again for coming out and braving the weather. Amazing turnout again.
Danke, dass du da seid.
It's sort of a bit embarrassing watching the prosecutors in there trying to tell us that day was night and night was day. That Chelsea Manning's not a whistleblower and Julian's not a journalist. They really just brought absolute shame to that court and to the United Kingdom justice system. And this case remains a stain on the US, a stain on the UK, and both governments should be absolutely ashamed of it and what they're doing to press freedom.
Dieser Prozess eine Schande für beide Länder, UK
and our rights. Because what was going on in there is the prosecutors telling us that journalism is a threat to democracy.
Also die Ankläger sagen, dass
and whistleblowing is a threat to democracy. Our right to know is a threat to democracy. So shame on them and free Julian Assange.
Also je nachdem, wie man Demokratie auslegt, ist es natürlich eine Gefahr.
Thanks very much, Gabriel. Now, the next speaker really is a pleasure to introduce. I met him a couple of years back when he was the first Australian MP to come across to Britain to visit Julian Assange in Belmarsh. We met with British parliamentarians at that time. But since that visit, he has been central to the transformation of Australian politics on the question of Julian Assange, campaigning relentlessly until there is not only cross-party support for Julian Assange, but the whole of the Australian Parliament saying what the world knows to be true, and that is enough in the case of Julian Assange. Please give a huge London welcome to Andrew Wilkie MP.
Who remembers collateral murder? Who can forget that grainy black and white image of an American attack helicopter gunning down innocent Iraqis and Reuters journalists? Who can remember that? Yes! And we have this madness that the man who told the truth, who provided hard evidence of US war crimes, he's the one in front of a court. It should have been the pilots of that helicopter. But some common sense has broken out. At least now the Australian Parliament has finally voted. The Australian Prime Minister has finally stood up and given a clear, strong signal to the Americans that enough is enough. Regardless of what you think of Julian, this matter must be brought to an end. The extradition must be dropped. The charges must be dropped. He must be busted out of Belmarsh. He must be allowed to be reunited with his family.
Der Ministerpräsident von Australien hat gesagt, dass genug ist genug.
Because Julian Assange is the hero here, not the villain.
Now, astoundingly, through all this time, despite the imprisonment of Julian Assange, WikiLeaks has continued to do its work. And its editor-in-chief is Christian Hafferson, He's been following this case as well as keeping the reporting alive. Please give him a warm welcome.
Das ist der Chef von WikiLeaks, der Whistleblower-Plattform.
It was absolutely amazing to be in the courtroom this morning. I was not in the actual courtroom yesterday, but in a side room where I couldn't hear anything. Now I was in the actual courtroom and I still couldn't hear anything. So at least you're getting closer, you can see the reaction from the two judges and see the back head of the lawyer representing the US government. So what was he putting forth there? Absolutely nothing new. It was, as we were offered to lunch on a leftover smorgasbord from last month. We've heard it all before, and it's all been refuted, not just in the courtrooms, but with new evidence that was totally disregarded. So they had nothing new to offer, but the old arguments that have been refuted. But what was interesting this morning is that the judges were paying attention and they were asking questions. Is it really true that Julian will not get a First Amendment protection when he is extradited? Etc., etc. At least we have the attention. Thanks to you, probably. They know that they need to scrutinize this and the arguments put forth. And the arguments were thin. Of course, we shouldn't be here, because it's been disputed everything that the Americans have been putting forth in this case. The day will continue. We will, of course, fight on. There is a glimpse of hope in the courts here. Let's not abandon that. Let's stay on that. Let's stay on the shift, on the watch. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for supporting Julian Assange. Let's free him. Let's free Assange now.
It really isn't a standing view from up here. I wish you could all see yourselves. It's a fantastic turnout. I actually think that the crowd today is bigger than we were yesterday. I hope you're all ready to march this afternoon at the end of the court hearing. So stay around and get ready to march later this afternoon. And remember, all that's being asked for here is a full hearing in a high court. There has been no full hearing of the Assange case except in a magistrate's court. Now, a magistrate's court in this country is the lowest court. It's the court that you go to if you have a parking ticket, if you have a speeding fine. That's the level of case that is normally heard in a magistrate's court. They do not and should not be the final judges of the most important civil liberties case of the 21st century. I'm leading the campaign to make sure that that is not the case, that it is not left to the judgment of a single lowly magistrate, has been Julian Assange's wife, Stella Assange.
Jetzt kommt Julians Frau Stella.
How pathetic the US case is. They have to rely on lies. And then the prosecutors say, don't question these lies because that would offend our ally. 14 years on, all they can do is repeat the lies from the very first Pentagon press conference talking points sheet.
Weil das die Zusammenarbeit gefährden würde.
What they're trying to argue is that state secrets trump revealing state crimes. This is the balance they're trying to shift. They want impunity, they don't want to be scrutinized, and journalism stands in the way. And in that courtroom, they are having to make their position increasingly clear. They have to admit that what they're doing is criminalizing journalism, is criminalizing the truth. They are liars, they are criminals, and they are persecuting the journalist who exposed them.
Yes! Shame on them!
Julian is a truth teller, he is a political prisoner. And the world is watching these courts and how they deal with this case. Please be here and come and march to Downing Street after the proceedings are over this afternoon. Thank you.
Free Julian Assange! 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 And there is now no better person to tell you about why that should be the case than Julian Assange's father, John Shipton.
Ja, gleich kommt der Vater von Julian Assange.
Gee, what a fantastic crowd. But just a few things. Sorry? Just a few things. Julian has spent in one form of incarceration and another, over 14 years. Julian has spent over 14 years in one form of incarceration or another. Are you good with that? No! All of Julian's human rights suspended. Are you good with that? No! Due process abuse after abuse. Are you good with that? No! Over 25 court cases in one form or another for an innocent man. No charges laid. Are you good with that? No! I just want to thank you all for coming and thank you for your strength and understanding, as I do, that all genius ascends from the people, ascends from us upward. And it is us, in the manifestation of the Australian Parliament, declaring that Julian Assange must be brought home, has shown our courage manifested in the parliamentary declaration. Is that not magnificent? See you this afternoon for the march.
Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Okay, folks, now this afternoon, as we've said repeatedly, there's the march. Please stay around from that. I see many friends here who I know have been campaigning, as I have been, to stop the slaughter in Gaza. And many of you have asked me about the timings of the demonstration this evening, where there's going to be a ceasefire vote in the House of Commons. Now, that's been moving backwards and forwards all day, but the latest intelligence that I have about that is that the vote will be around 7 o'clock this evening, and the protest will start shortly after we've ended our protest down in Richmond Terrace opposite Downing Street. So if those of you who want to join both, please stay here, march with us, and you should be down in time to join the Palestine protest as well. So we'll be meeting here about 4:30. That's when we expect the judge to call an end to the proceedings. We won't necessarily know the verdict today, although we might. But whatever the case, we are determined to take to the seat of government, to the Prime Minister of this country, the message that we stand for freedom of the press, that we stand for freedom of speech, and that people like him and his counterparts in the United States ought to be the ones who are standing trial and not Julian Assange.
Excuse me, my loves.
Also ich denke, ich gehe wieder offline. Jetzt wird ja schon nicht mehr viel passieren. Wir werden Mittagspause geben. Später geht es dann im Gericht weiter. Ich probiere wieder in den Gerichtssaal zu kommen. Ansonsten bis da, wo es live übertragen wird. Und dann kann ich auch von anderen was schreiben. Ich werde es bei Telegram schreiben. Vielleicht mache ich später nochmal ein Live. Deswegen auf jeden Fall Kanal abonnieren und die Glocke anmachen, dann kriegt ihr das immer mit. Okay. Also dann wünsche ich euch noch einen schönen Tag erstmal. Man sieht sich.